Hello, this is Pavel, and this is today's operating brief. I build technology for service companies, and on this channel, I look at what technology changes mean for business. Not the tools themselves, but what changes after we got a tool. And today, I want to review the very practical question: how do you create an IT strategy? The enterprise handbooks cover this from the very high view of the very large enterprises. How you create a strategy if you're planning to expand in a different country, how you align IT strategy if you are expanding on the different markets. But what if your company is the regular service or professional company that does not planning to open next office overseas, and that's going to be yet another year, and you planning to grow 10 to 20%? Are you creating an IT strategy or not? There's a big difference between how IT viewed in the IT software infrastructure companies where the IT is the profit center and the businesses where the IT is the supporting unit. When you have profit center that creates revenue, it is a little bit easier to tie activities to the revenue. So we start with the current system with the burning objectives, very relevant at the moment when the document is created, and very often completely irrelevant a year later when you try to review the progress, because IT is the always in the reactive mode to the business needs. And it's all sounds right, but how can you distinguish between the actual business needs that help business to move the needle and the loud business user who believes that the IT is the serving unit? So, list of projects, upgrades, and other top priorities creates IT project plan. IT needs a plan. An IT plan is the one that is changes very often. So let's look at the how to create IT strategy and align it with the business strategy as much as possible. Because misaligning technology with the business, this is the biggest waste of energy and effort. Let's look at the IT strategy from 4 different angles. And the first I'm going to cover is expected service baseline. All businesses open to provide services, provide value to the customers, but all businesses end up competing on the customer service game. So at the moment the business operates first day, customer already have expectation what is going to be delivered. And this is expected service baseline. If you look to the same type of business requirements probably 30 years ago, that would be a phone line and a business card. Then it would be then email audit, then a website, then if it is a professional service, Google business profile, and it's growing and growing. If you build a technology in-house, you needed a computer in the corner, then you needed a server, then you needed a cloud account. So this is all the expected baseline that you need to operate. Customers do not give you any credit for meeting this expected baseline. They only notice if you fall below. And no matter how niche your service is, the customers reacts based on the expectation of the service. So the other company in completely different niches create this expectation. And this expected service baseline is a moving target. You probably remember a time when picking up the phone Monday morning was okay. And other companies made it no longer acceptable criteria for customers. And now that you need to do the same, you need to have 24/7 phone line. This is just an example. So expected service baseline is a moving target. It is created by your customer expectation. It's created by your competitors and created in general the capabilities a company can produce. And this is the first input into the operational strategy. Because as soon as the company falls below expected service baseline, it starts hurting. When you see the news that there's no ROI, visible ROI, company experience when they implement new technology, it is because exactly that the expected service baseline is rising, and we put in effort, we spend effort and energy and money to meet the expected baseline so that it creates a feeling that there is no ROI. The second angle, and would be company vision. So there are multiple ways company creates a vision. It could be from the revenue standpoint, it could be from the volume, market share, and it could be very emotional, feeling based. To become the best place to work, to become the most trusted service provider. For me, coming from the technology background, the future company that is different from the company of today is the set of capabilities that the company does not possess. And that create the gap. If we put them side by side, what we're capable today, what we should be able to do 3 years down the road, that create the capabilities gap. Even if you visualize the company of the future, even if you list all of the things that we should be able to do, we cannot do it starting tomorrow. Why? Because the capabilities are not there. And unless this is going into high priority, then it's going to happen. So this another input into IT strategy gap. The third point is internal. So there are different ways how technology help businesses to be more efficient. So that's why the user requirements exist. That's why the user business meetings exist, where the businesses voice the constraints they have, looking for technology to solve the problem. And this is one of the biggest source of misalignment, because the very often technology or IT department moves into working on the convenience, making it job more convenient. That's why businesses do not feel the results of this effort. So what else can we measure to quantify the impact of technology? And I think it's forgotten art. It's not forgotten. So manufacturers practice this art all day long, the managing cost of output. So they know the cost of every unit they produce to the fraction of the penny. And they can break it down by the materials, by different type of products. So this is on the manufacturing side, mastered to the fraction of the measurement unit, let's call this, whether it would be time or money. But when it is a service company, whether a professional company, rarely company can tell what the total cost of claim, what the total cost of customer served, what the total cost of the service visit. So we can take the entire salary, split it into the output. This is the best usually cost we can get. But if we have different type of product, different type of services, different outcomes, we don't know. So we need to measure this and apply technology to manage cost of output. So we're not looking to reduce people in a company. We're not looking to replace some effort. We manage cost of output. And if you can chart it, of course, it requires some measuring cost of output as of now, and you can target what it's going to be like a year from now, and then what type of technology input required in order to maintain it or lower it depending on the desire. So we have three so far: managing expected service baseline, managing capability gap in the company vision, and managing cost of outcome. So is there anything else that should have on the strategy? Managing risk. So the more and more company depend on the technology, the more the technology risk become the entire business risk. So there are a lot of studies, they might be subjective, but the last number I've seen that 40 to 45% of the mid-sized companies do not recover after data breach. So this is the high priority for not very well understand sometimes by the business side that implication of this risk. And unless the risk is in strategy, we never have time to manage it and put an effort to improve protection of the company. That would be security, that would be technology risk, and all other risks. So there are 4 inputs into IT strategy that would make sense to justify the IT cost, to justify technology decision on what technology company needs in order to achieve and to become that company 1 or 3 years down the road that you want. That's all for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.